The peculiar outdoor sport of this district is tobogganing. A Scotchman may remember the low flat board with the front wheels on a pivot, which was called a hurley. And he may remember this contrivance, laden with boys, as laboriously started, it ran rattling down the brae, and was, now successfully, now unsuccessfully, steered round the corner at the foot. He may remember scented summer evenings passed in this diversion, and many a grazed skin, bloody coxcomb, and neglected lesson. The toboggan is to the hurley what the sled is to the carriage. It is a hurry upon runners, and if for a grating road you substitute a long declivity of beaten snow, you can imagine the giddy career of the tobogganist. The correct position is to sit, but the fantastic will sometimes sit hind foremost, or dare the descent upon their belly or their back. A few steer with a pair of pointed sticks, but it is more classical to use the feet. If the weight be heavy and the track smooth, the toboggan takes the bit between its teeth, and to steer a couple of full-size friends in safety requires not only judgment, but desperate exertion. On a very steep track, with a keen evening frost, you may have moments almost too appalling to be called enjoyment. The head goes, the world vanishes, your blind steed bounds below your weight, and you reach the foot with all the breath knocked out of your body, jarred and bewildered, as though you had just been subjected to a railway accident. Another element of joyful horror is added by the formation of a train, one toboggan being tied to another, perhaps to the number of half a dozen, only the first rider being allowed to steer, and all the rest pledged to put up their feet and follow their leader, with heart in mouth, down the mad descent. This, particularly if the track begins with a headlong plunge, is one of the most exhilarating follies in the world, and the tobogganing invalid is early reconciled to somersaults. There is all manner of variety in the nature of the tracks, some miles in length, others but a few yards, and yet, like some short rivers, furious in their brevity. All degrees of skill and courage and taste may be suited in your neighbourhood. But perhaps the true way to toboggan is alone and at night. First comes the tedious climb, dragging your instruments behind you. Next, a long breathing space, alone with snow and pine woods, cold, silent, and solemn to the heart. Then you push off. The toboggan fetches way. She begins to feel the hill, to glide, to swim, to gallop. In a breath, you are out from under the pine trees, and a whole heavenful of stars reels and flashes overhead. Then comes a vicious effort, for by this time your wooden steed is speeding like the wind, and you are spinning round the corner, and the whole glittering valley and all the lights in all the great hotels lie for a moment at your feet, and the next you are racing once more in the shadow of the night, with close-shut teeth and beating heart. Yet a little while, and you will be landed on the high road by the door of your own hotel. This in an atmosphere tingling with 40 degrees of frost, in a night made luminous with stars and snow, and girt with strange white mountains, teaches the pulse an unaccustomed tune, and adds a new excitement to the life of man upon his planet.